Hey guys, how's it going? Got something new. This is I believe it to be a 1930 something Fairbanks ZD Hit&Miss engine. I've also heard it referred to as a salt block engine by somebody who I know. Previously on the channel, we messed with a Fairbanks ZC series engine, self-oiling, the one that we had gotten running and used for a little bit. I do still have that engine. It does float around the shop for anybody who has wondered about it. It's been kind of tucked away and hidden. I keep that one kind of put away because I really don't. I do have customers that come into the shop and I really don't like having that one out because, well, it draws attention, everybody asks about it, and I don't want it running off with somebody. So that's kind of why I keep that one hidden. Picked this one up this weekend. I went to a tractor show. It was kind of a steam, it wasn't really a steam show. There wasn't any steam engines there. There was some of it last year, but not this year. I didn't really film a whole lot over there. I did film some things here and there, but just kind of for me. I didn't really film anything over there. I was more or less enjoying spending time with my friends. It was a lot more fun just hanging out with them and doing stuff with the tractors and messing around over there than it was pulling a camera out and recording everything. Then you got to sit down and edit all that, which I do enjoy going back and looking at that stuff, but at the same time, you really don't want to sit there with a camera in your hand and record literally everything that you guys are talking about. You want to talk about stuff off camera and in private, so I hope you guys understand that. So this is the new engine. I met Jacob over there. I actually bought this engine off of him. Well, I traded. If you guys remember the 1970 John Deere 140 that I had here, it smoked really bad and we used it for tilling and I stopped using it because I could not breathe after using that tractor. So he bought it off of me. Well, he more or less traded me this for that tractor. As you can see, it is the wrong green. The flywheel and the block are the wrong color green. This, I believe, is the correct green that the engine should be. So I do want to repaint it at some point in time, probably not right now, but I want to get it to be the correct green. I'm not a huge fan of this, and plus it looks kind of rough in the paint job it is, because I can see places where the paint is really thin on it and you can see through it, such as here, there, you know. So I don't think this is the original paint. I believe somebody repainted it at some point in time. There was a spot that gave it away. But this is my new engine. Right here is actually the camshaft. It runs off of, or this side PTO runs off of the camshaft, and it's got one on the other side over here, a belt pulley that runs off of the crank. It's kind of a neat setup. I looked at one of these previously, actually, it is on the channel, with my friends Mason and Jack. We were at a show in Findlay and we had seen an engine kind of similar to this with a pulley on this side. We were kind of looking at it and wondering about it and how it worked. So I thought, how about we go on ahead and we dive into this thing and we take a look at it. Like I said, I don't really know what year it is. I'm gonna have to ask and find out. So yeah, let's go on ahead and let's pull it apart and just take a look at it, see how it works. I do not have a mag for it. I do not have a fuel tank for it. I don't know the condition of this engine. However, I did find gaskets for it online. So I guess we can take this thing apart and kind of look it over and see what we find. So let's grab some tools and we'll pop this back cover off right here. I don't know if I have to take this stand off or not. I don't think I do. I would say just these two bolts right here and it should pull right off. I don't think there's any oil in it. There may be a little bit of oil in there. It's probably like how my engine was. As far as I know, he didn't do anything to it. He told me that this is how it was when he bought it. If I'm wrong on that one, let me know. So yeah, let's take it apart and see how it looks. What do you guys see? Oh, you see everything cool. So let's take this apart. I believe these are the only two bolts on here that hold this back cover on. Well, that's a decent sized bolt. So then once we take this off, we'll check the spark plug and everything else and see how it looks. That came off a lot easier than I was expecting it to. Oh wow. That's got a lot of stuff in it. So taking a look at this, well, what do we have here? So this right here, I'm assuming is your governor. I can tell you that by seeing the weights on it. That looks just like what was in my other engine, except for that one was smaller. Oil hole, piston rod. Wow, that cylinder is small. Holy shit. I don't know how well you guys see that in there, but there's your cylinder. That's bad. That's small. Does this have... Ooh. Okay. So this is the same boat as the other engine. Nice. That's just what I was hoping to see. So in other words, we're going to have to clean that out. Man, there's a lot more involved in this one than I was expecting. I wasn't thinking it was that much. Neat. That's kind of cool to see this though and compare it to that other engine that I have. Although, it's not that hard to take apart. Those bolts, these bolts, those bolts there by the governor. Take that out. I see a couple bolts right there. I don't know what those would be for. So it's a flathead. It's not an overhead valve because there's the things for it. That's kind of neat, the way that they built that compared to the engine that I've got. Because it's got an overhead exhaust valve. Well, same with the intake valve. Let's pop that plug out of there. I'm assuming that's going to be a 7/8. Grabbed a 15/16. Yep, that's it. Oh, that was loose. Let's see what we get. That sounds great. Looks alright. I don't really see anything wrong with it. What do you say we pop this cylinder head off? May as well just look at it, you know. Take a look at it and see what we find underneath. Door number 2. Grab a smaller wrench. I guess another thing we could do while we're in here is we could clean this up and repaint it, which I'm thinking about doing anyway, so. Oh wow, yeah, look at that. So there's inside the water jacket. That's rough. Oh wow, that is the smallest piston I have ever seen. This head gasket come out of here in one piece. Nope, it ripped. Head gasket looks alright though. Yeah, it broke unfortunately. I wonder if that was original to the engine or not. Looks like it had water in the bore at one point. Right there. Yeah, ooh. That's got water in it. That's not good. That might be from the water jacket though. Wow, for how ginormous this engine is, that piston is kind of little. That's got to be the... How big would you say that is? Here's your piston. Cute little thing, huh? I don't think there's scoring in there or anything. Bore feels alright. Valves move, that's good. It probably would have ran if we didn't take it apart, but that's probably a good thing we did. Wow, that's just a little baby piston. Now I'm surprised how small that is. He said it was small, but I didn't think it was that small. Let's be easy with these. If we can get them to come out. Oh, I see Loctite. Somebody put Loctite on these. Why would they put Loctite on these? That's not Loctite. What is that? RTV? Isn't RTV usually red? Trying not to damage these studs. Yeah, it's not gonna go. Okay, fine, we'll do it the correct way. You know what I should do actually? I should clean all these up. So let's just come in here. If you're wondering what's on this rag, it's just diesel fuel. Or on this pad, it's just diesel fuel. This is a Scotch-Brite pad that I use in my parts washer. So it got some diesel fuel on it over time. I'm sure there's something better I can use, but that's what I've got. So it's kind of set. Trying to be careful. Let's see if we can. That's as far as I'll go. Check that bore. Piston ain't got no play in it. That's good. Whoa, that looks bad. What do you say we take a look at these? What size? Well, if we have to, we'll grab a tap and go through them. Steel threads on there, kind of rough. Let me grab a tap and just kind of go through the threads and clean those up on those nuts. Then we'll get them studs out. So unfortunately I couldn't get the studs to come out of the engine. I just stuck the one back in it that we tried to take, or that we had out of it. I want to take a second and just kind of poke through it with a screwdriver, and I want to see what comes out of it. And well, how full of rust this is. And wow. What's right here? There's something right there. What is that? Something that's broken. A piece of metal. There it is. Huh. Interesting. And there's a screw. I wonder what that was. Went to. Damn. So there's your water jacket. And I just pulled the head off of the hopper to look in there. Look what it did to my... That's wet. That's been... I have a feeling it's been run recently. I don't know how long ago, or it had water in it, or never was drained. That's a possibility. I don't know. Let's see if we can get the rest of this head gasket off of here. I'm not sure. Okay, I see how it goes now. There's still some of it on there. But yeah, wow. That's... I'd like to get these studs out of here, but I didn't really seem to be that interested in coming out. Let's clean this area up here a little. Okay, there's gotta be a way to get those studs out of there. So I'm stepping away from the cylinder a little bit. I want to see if we can bring this tag back, because I see that it's slowly starting to as I kind of play with it. Actually, yeah, it is. Look at that. Let me grab some stuff. I'm trying to be careful not to damage this. Let's see if we can bring it back. That looks almost. I would say we probably got it about as good as we're gonna get it though without causing any more damage. But yeah, it cleaned up nice. So flipping it back around to this side, I think I've decided I want to just kind of pull this engine completely apart and look at it. It's in actually really decent shape. Let's just pull it apart and get a good look at everything. I want to pull the rod of the piston out. Whether that's a good idea or not, I don't know. So we can pull the rod cap off. Just get a good look at it and see what we got. What do you say? And then I want to take it and I want to throw this block in the parts washer and just let it soak for a while. There's a couple of shims in there. So it is similar to my 3-horse that I have. Something fell. Just pull. That was easy in the bore. There we go. Just carefully pull that out. Come out? No. Crank looks alright, so that's positive. Does this say what the top is on here? No, it doesn't. I don't see anything on here that... Ooh, there's a... Oh, good. Okay, it has a marking. Note for future me. Dot. Dot. This is the top of that, okay? So let's take both of these off. Actually, on second thought, we could probably leave them on there. Spin this around. Will the piston come out of the bore? Or is it stuck? It's stuck. Okay, give me a second here. Is there a way that we can take... And I'll figure it out. Bring this back. I feel like it's supposed to come out this side for whatever reason. Whether I'm correct or not about that, I don't know. So there's just this and a spacer on the bottom. I'd also like to point out there were no pins. I see holes where pins would have went. This is the top. Yeah, this is the top. So this goes here, like so. I bolt is bent. That's probably why it didn't want to come out. There we go. So we'll throw this side together. So we'll have to try to straighten that bolt out, I guess. On the bottom, see if we can get these shims to come out. Just with hand. Cool. Yeah, there's a lot more shims on the bottom than there is on the top. There we go. Their shim just fell out. Yeah. There we go. Stick that through, and we'll run this in like so. And then there's another one that goes, another two that go in here like that. Wow. This thing is wore out. I'm not a huge fan of the idea of pulling this piston out, but at the same time, I'm really curious to see it and how it looks. Something just fell out. Man, that bottom one has a lot of shims, doesn't it? Because another one just came out. There it is. Come on. Is it out? There it is. Here's your piston. Wow, that's tiny. I think them rings are stuck. There's your oil ring, 3 compression rings. That's cool. Yeah, here's your piston. Which is the top? That's the top. We'll set that right there for now. So let's pull the other stuff. This is for the crank. How is this engine timed? That's a good question. I am suspecting it is like my other engine. And there's divots in the gear on my other engine. Is that how this engine works? I'm looking for the gears. Yeah, it's a good thing I thought about that before we took it apart. I do not see the gears that would be. Well, let's just find. Where's that one that I saw down here that looked to be? Have a bevel to it. It's that one. Yeah, that one. Okay, so where does he line up? Actually, is that it right there? He lines up right there. There's no mark or anything. Wait a minute. Is that a mark right there? Let's check this. That looks. Where did it line up? Right. Where was the mark? Where was the mark? There it is, right there. So that lines up with that spot on that gear. There is something there. It almost looks like. What do we see now? Timing marks B. Okay, so that closes in. I don't see anything here that would be a timing mark. So how do you time this thing then? If that lines up with that, which it does, I should do, actually, let's do this. Let's clean this gear up. Right there. Unless it's on this side, which, no. But we'll clean that spot up where that gear was. Let's see if we can spot anything. It was right there. That's probably not the best thing to do, but well, yeah. No, I don't see anything to tell me that. So we're going to line those up. I'm going to line it up with that one that I had pointed out. That one. Right there. And I'm going to grab a white paint marker and I'm going to mark that tooth. Actually, we'll just use this. This isn't what I want to use, but it'll work for the time being. I'll mark that, and there we go. So now we have that gear marked. Hopefully that stays. What is that? There it is right there. So let's just pull this. I don't know how heavy this is going to be. I'm tempted to pull that drain plug, and I'm sure someone's going to say you should pull that drain plug. I'm going to leave it for right now because I don't want that draining out on my table. Oh, do I think anything's going to drain? Probably not. We'll see. Let's just see. So there's our first bolt. Here's our second bolt. How's this bearing look? Bearing looks alright. Oh, I just realized that. I didn't check to see what the top was and what the bottom was. Shit. I'll check the camera later. Oh, actually, this right here I bet is the top because it has this to hold oil and put it in that hole. Okay, that makes sense. Which side would come out first? Would the cam come out first or the crank? The cam actually looks like it comes out first. And I say that because this is on top of it. So I have a feeling that we're going to have to... There we go. That looks alright. That one's smaller too. Let's see if we can get it to come out of here without too much of a fight. Look at that. It's actually pretty damn light. So now we got to get, here's our bearings, which don't look terrible. The bearings look alright, so I'm just going to leave them be. We'll just clean them up. Oh, that one slides out. That one doesn't, so we'll leave it alone. Wonder if this one's been replaced in the past. So now we'll pull the top. Those are small. So now we get into it because this one here actually looks the same as the ones from the crank side of things. Whether that'll be a problem or not, it kind of does. Okay, we'll put this one up above as the cam. I'm going to go on ahead and say both of them are 1/2 inch. Let me go grab a 1/2 inch and we'll get them taken out. It's about the same size. How hard is this going to be to get out of here? Huh. That's how your governor works. That's kind of neat. Let's set this over here where it's out of the way. There we go. Did these come out? I don't want them to. But what the hell? Okay, they come out. Oh, they just sitting there. Okay, good. I don't want them to come out, so we're just going to leave them in there. So yeah, there we go. That's our engine all took apart. Huh, wow. Let's take this in the other room and let's clean it out in the parts washer. I say that better turn. There it goes. So we'll let that drain out. See if that washes our mess out or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through it with the little brush. And I'm going to try to just clean it out. You guys saw what it looked like earlier. I wonder how long it's going to be until that diesel starts to change color. That's coming out. It started to. So I'm going to go through this. Yeah, see, now it's a lot darker than it was. I'm going to go through this and I'm going to clean it out. I'm not going to film that. I've washed stuff out before on video, so it's just the same as usual. Let me get this thing washed out and then I'll bring the camera back. So here's an update on this little Fairbanks Morse. I took it in the other room, I washed it out completely with the parts washer, I'm sure you guys saw that. Went through the engine block, cleaned it out, got all the old oil out of it, took the entire engine down all the way and just went through everything. I got the rings unstuck from the piston, but unfortunately the oil ring was broke. So besides that one, all the other compression rings seem fine. So I'm gonna have to put new rings in it, and being that I gotta put new rings in it, I'm gonna have to hone that cylinder out. So I have my cylinder honed, and I don't know if this is going to be able to go tight enough, if I can get it to come out of here. There we go. I don't know if this is gonna be a tight enough fit, now that I'm looking at it, to fit in this bore. That's as tight as it goes. That looks like it will. Maybe. Okay, it'll fit. I'm not supposed to slide it around in there like that, but I just wanted to make sure it would fit. It's kind of tight, but yeah, it'll fit. So, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this in the parts washer and I'm gonna run the little nozzle into the bore. The bore feels fine, but it's just that spot there. And I'm gonna run, let's see, I'll run it all the way through. And let's just throw that in the parts washer, set the nozzle up so it'll be lubricating. I have diesel fuel in there, so that'll help clean that out in the process of lubricating that. So let's just throw that in there and let's see if we can get it, or we can hone that cylinder out. Change my mind on the parts washer. We're just gonna do it outside of it. Got some motor oil. You can use really any kind of lubricating oil. As long as it lubricates it, you can use it. So I would use WD-40, however motor oil seems to be a good one that you could use. This is kind of big for my parts washer, and I really don't think I'd be able to get the drill in there. Need more oil. Turn the speed up a little too. But what I'm doing is I'm cleaning that bore up a little bit. You're deglazing it, as in you're taking the shine off of it. And also, de-shining it, it's putting a cross thatch in the cylinder, making it so the rings will seat to it. Let's try, I want to go a little more and then we'll look at it. But you're not trying to make the bore bigger, you're just trying to take that shine off and put a little bit of cross thatch in it, you know? Let's take a look at it. There we go. See how that looks. Hopefully that should be alright. I haven't done this in a while, so I kind of gotta relearn it. And then once you're done doing that, there's your stuff. So I got a little bit up here at the tip I'd like to get rid of. A little bit of material up here. That feels alright though. Then you can also see the spots where it needs to be done a little more. For example, right there, I see that needs to be given a little more attention. Let's just look. There, look for the flashlight. We got a decent cross thatch to it though, for the most part. Yeah, there's some spots in there that are kind of questionable, right there especially. So I'm gonna go through it a couple times. I can see also where the rings were stuck. There's a spot right there. There's where a ring was. And there's where another ring was. So there's 3 rings. So it sat in that spot for a while. So I'm gonna throw some more oil at it and go through it again. You guys saw what I do, so I'm just gonna go on ahead and do it. And then once I get that done, I'll bring you back and we'll take a look at it. So I got this engine all pulled apart. I want to go on ahead and look inside that carb and see what exactly we find in there and if this is in good shape or not. I don't see why it wouldn't be that bad, or why it would be that bad, but I guess we'll see. I believe these just hold this on. I don't think they hold the actual carb on there. Yeah, that's what I thought. Huh. That's an interesting setup. Oh, there's a gasket in there. Oh, there is. Actually looks like it's in pretty decent shape. So how does this come off of here? Does it come off? There's a screw, there's a screw. I'm gonna assume it's these two screws that take this out of here. Yeah, wow, what a mess. I'm glad I took that out. Screw there, screw here. Let's just see if we can get, yep. Cool, look at that. That came, oh. Right there's your governor, right there's your throttle linkage I see. Oh, that's a problem. How did that work? Well, that's actually stuck, yeah. That's stuck. Oh, that's a good thing that we looked into that then. That was stuck. There we go. Oh, I see how it works now. This whole thing moves. Okay. Yeah, there we go. That's unseized now, so nice. Yeah, that wouldn't have worked before. What do you say we take this over to the ultrasonic cleaner, even though there's really not a whole lot here to take apart, and we'll take it apart and just kind of, I guess, go through it and see what we find out. I'm going to set it over there for right now. That's your governor assembly right there. That's what changes the engine RPM. Yeah, see that? That's different than I thought it was. And right there's your governor. There's your, huh. That's actually a lot different than I thought it was. I was thinking it would be a little more, or I was thinking that it would just be, oh, okay, never mind. I'll stop before I make myself look any more stupid. Oh, when it comes through on this side. Yeah, there we go. So I think the plan is to paint this engine. Now, what color, you may ask? I don't know. I've seen a few different colors. I've seen red poking through, I've seen a darker green, and I've seen a lighter, and I've seen this green. There's red poking through in the front, there's green there, another green here somewhere, red. This is kind of black, this is darker green right there. I think this engine has been many different colors. However, there was another one of these engines I have seen before, and it was actually red. And I kind of like the look of the red. I thought it looked good, so I think red is what we're going to be going with, because I do plan on repainting this engine. So yeah, there's that all nice and cleaned out. I could go after it and get into it a little more with the parts washer, but I really don't want to put this back in there just to pull it back out and put it back in there again eventually. So let's just dive into that carb and let's see what we find. So getting into this carb, it actually should be pretty simple. And another spot I see red is right here. It should be pretty simple. It should just be this jet that comes out. This is your metering jet. This allows fuel in and or to go into the engine, and then suction from here pulls fuel in there, going in through a jet here somewhere. It's the exact same basically as what my other Fairbanks has. There's no float bowl or anything in it. It's kind of a really simple design. Right there is your jet and your spring. bottom here, that goes to a fuel tank. I'm not going to remove that. I'm going to take this out down here on bottom though, or at least see if I can take this out. Let's see. Oh yeah, that came out. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Yeah, we're kind of doing what I wasn't wanting to do. We're going to remove that, but oh well. This should turn now. Yep. There we go. Looking at it, it's really simple. It really is. So let's fire this thing up. Should be warm. I had it running a while ago. Yes. Let's throw that in, the spring, and the body. And we'll let that run for a little while. We could throw the choke assembly in there too, which actually I should, looking at it. Well, this looks alright, so I guess we'll just leave it alone. Oh, this gasket's broken, so yeah, we can't reuse it. This I might take in there and rinse out in the parts washer. Probably going to also end up taking this apart. I want to repaint the engine. I think I'm going to paint it red. So let's go on ahead and let's get this washed out. I'm going to let this run for a while and then I'll be back. So here's an update on this Fairbanks and everything that has been done. As you guys saw last, I believe that it still had we were just rinsing it out in the parts washer. Here's the engine block. I rinsed it out in the parts washer and the cylinder has been honed out. I think I did film that. The cylinder's been honed out. I rinsed it out after honing out that cylinder. That portion of it's all done. I went through it. The carb is cleaned. It's actually sitting right over there. The block is all done. Carb is sitting over there. Everything over there is for this engine. I have not, or this is how it currently sits. Everything has been disassembled and is sitting on the table. But here's the engine block. Coming over here we have the cam assembly head studs and flywheel, and also right there's the carb. It's a pretty simple little thing. Come over here and we got the babbits and the bearings and also some other stuff. So yeah, there we go. And there's the cylinder head and top of the engine, and over there is the inside of the engine and what it looks like. So I'm not quite sure what the next step is going to be on this engine. I think the next thing is going to be, I want to find a set of rings for that piston. If I can find a set of rings for this engine, maybe we'll try to see if we can get it running again. I do want to source a PTO for the camshaft. I already have one for the crankshaft. I want to try to find one for the camshaft. That way I can run stuff off of that like how you're supposed to on there. I really wouldn't mind getting this engine running again. However, I don't see it happening, but I don't know. I've been proven wrong before, so maybe it'll run again. So yeah. Alright guys, I want to take a second. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If it's your first time checking out my channel, please consider going down below, hitting that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a thing. Tells YouTube you guys like the videos and want to see more. Tells myself the same thing. I think in the next video I want to clean this engine up. I might even just do it off camera. I want to clean the engine up. I want to get it prepped and ready to paint, and I'm thinking about painting it either a darker green like what that cover is, or I want to paint it red. I'm really more interested honestly in painting it red. I thought about blue, but I don't think it'd look very good blue. My mind goes to red because I like the color red on hit-and-miss engines, and I think it looks pretty good on them. So yeah. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. Bye.